Hello, this is Jochen, coach of the San Francisco Cinderace. We have today my team builder for my semifinals match against the Jacksonville Jolteons. Repeat of my week 8 matchup. This was the same team we played then, so mostly going to be the same on the team, but I thought I'd go over it one more time. My big three, my Grimmsnarl, Aegis/slash Cinderace, all have pretty good matchups. Flygon's not bad as well, with Silvally Fighting being pretty good, as well as Silvally Ground if you want to bring that. Vaporeon's got a decent matchup, and then most of my C tiers have a reason I should bring them. They all could be argued for. On his side, I think it's likely the Arcanine shows up. It didn't show up last time, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it would be there. I'm expecting it to be there this time, and if not, then I'm expecting him to switch in one of the fairies he has, probably. I should stay. Last time he brought Copperajah, Hydreigon, Mamo, Jellicent, Jolteon, Passimian. So figuring he's going to cut probably Passimian and switch in Arcanine or one of the fairies. So let's get right into what I brought for my team. So starting with Grimmsnarl, I copied and pasted the Grimmsnarl from the previous week, or previous match, I should say. We brought max HP, enough special attack to 1-hit KO the Jellicent with a nasty plot. We brought 188 special defense to help negate anything special that's going to get thrown at me by the Hydreigon, the Jellicent, those type of things, even the Jolteon. 12 speed to win any of the speed ties with his base 60s like Jellicent. And then moves-wise, we've got Sucker Punch, Nasty Plot, Dazzling Gleam, and Dark Pulse. The Nasty Plot for the boost, Dark Pulse, Dazzling Gleam for stab, and Sucker Punch just to clean things up when I am not G-maxed, because I did not have any other priority this week. And I didn't feel I needed any coverage. Grimmsnarl only gets, special-wise, really the two moves, Focus Blast and Hyper Beam. So I didn't want to slot either of those in there. I didn't feel there was a big reason this week. So we went with Sucker Punch for when I am not G-maxed. Despite the negative attack, he still does like 20 to 30 to a lot of the teams. So he's pretty good as like a, I wouldn't say revenge killer, but like I said, cleanup. But Berry once again to deal with Copperajah if Mamo's carrying Iron Head. Hydreigon's probably going to carry Flash Cannon, those sort of things. Passimian could carry Iron Head, more likely to carry Dunk Shot, but just in case. So let's move on to Aegislash here. Now, my Aegislash last time was Shuckaberry, because a lot of things on his team get ground coverage, but this time I thought about it and I decided I wanted to go Weakness Policy. The idea here is, since I'm max attack, I'd be able to hit most of his team with something that can one-shot them, once I get the Weakness Policy off. So with King's Shield, Iron Head, Shadow Claw, Close Combat, I have 3 very strong offensive moves, 2 of them being Stab. The Iron Head's going to hit the Fairies, it's going to hit the Mamoswine, that sort of thing. Shadow Claw's going to hit the Jellicent, it's going to hit the Arcanine neutrally. Close Combat's going to kill the Hydreigon after a Weakness Policy, it'll kill the Copperajah after a Weakness Policy, those sort of things. King's Shield to help me switch between forms, or if I end up in against Copperajah while it's G-maxed, and I think he's going to max Quake, King's Shielding actually lets me live the max Quake because it reduces the damage I would take. So, pretty standard set otherwise with the 4 special defense minus special attack. I thought about speed investment, but there's no real point unless I wanted to outspeed Jellicent, which I don't. Because if I don't have the Weakness Policy off, then I want to be able to take a Shadow Ball or Scald in defense form. So no speed this week. Moving to Cinderace. Now, Cinderace is same moves, same EVs. 252 attack, minus special attack, special defense, and speed. But rather than running him Choice Scarf, I put Choice Band this time through. I was looking at the damage calcs, and I think it's like a 60% chance to one-shot G-Max Copperajah with a Pyro Ball if he's not defense invested. So that was something I'm trying to pull off, and if he isn't, or he is, it's still a 2-shot, but it does a lot of damage to other things. It's a roll on one-shotting Mamoswine, it 2-shots Copperajah with, or not Copperajah, Hydreigon with Pyro Ball, and it one-shots it with High Jump Kick, almost one-shots it with U-Turn. So it does a lot of damage, it's going to hit very hard. I'm just going to have to make sure that if Arcanine is there, that it's dead before I start going for Pyro Balls. Then to Flygon, we swapped the items on these two. Cinderace was the Choice Scarfed one, Flygon was Choice Banded, we swapped it. Because the main thing I wanted to be able to outspeed was Hydreigon. I don't have anything that can outspeed Jolteon if it's Scarfed. And if he brings Scarfed Rapidash, then I'm slower than it, but I have ways to deal with it. So I wanted to outspeed Hydreigon. We put the Scarf on Flygon with base 100. We're 2 speed faster, so we'll be good there because we're jolly. We're going physical with Dragon Claw, EQ, Iron Tail, U-turn. The Iron Tail hits his fairies and Mamoswine. If I can predict one of them coming out on the switch, U-turns to help keep momentum, EQ Dragon Claw for basic stab that hits most of his team. So, happy with the moveset. Flygon did amazing for me, dodging a Draco Meteor when we played the first time through. So, hopefully he's going to be useful again. Moving on to Silvally. This is one of the bigger changes I made. Last time, I brought the same set, I believe, down to Eevees, or not down to Eevees, but the same moves. Eevees, I had him speed invested Adamant. No, Jolly, because I wanted to win speed test. So speed invested, here, speed invested Jolly was what we had last week. But this time through, I was looking at the speed, and I didn't feel it was that big of a problem. So we're gonna go max HP, max attack. The reason being is that it's gonna help me soak up hits, make it more likely I'm able to get off Swords Dance and then sweep with multi-attack and crunch. So the idea is if I get a Swords Dance, I can one-shot the Jellicent on the switch with crunch, and then I can just start killing things with multi-attack. Like the only thing that lives one, I want to say, would be Passimian might be able to live one, and Togetic probably lives one. Other than that, there's not much that wants to come in and deal with it, and I have Iron Head for the Togetic anyways, so if I can get a Swords Dance off, Silvally's gonna clean up this game. Next we have Vaporeon. I had debated on doing as the program says and suggesting a defensive spread, but I ended up going with a specially defensive spread for one reason. I'm trying to take substitute Baton Pass this week. The Scald Ice Beam is there for just decent offensive coverage, but with substitute Baton Pass, if you don't know how it works, if the substitute is up and you Baton Pass, whoever you switch in gets to keep the substitute. So the idea with the special defense EVs is even a Giga Drain from a non-invested or slightly special attack invested Jellicent won't be enough to get rid of my substitute, and I can Baton Pass out into my Grimmsnarl. The other idea is that I can substitute to burn turns when Copperajah is G-maxed. Because even max speed Copperajah is slower than base speed Jolteon. I think it gets up to like 60 or 70 Copperajah does, so I'm safe unless it's Scarf, but then it can't, well, it's G-maxed anyways. The idea is substitute, start burning turns, leftovers will keep me somewhat healthy. And once the G-max is gone, we don't have to worry about it. So the idea there, bring Vaporeon in on the Jellicent. The worst it could do is Giga Drain, which does like 20% to me, and then start setting up substitutes and Baton Pass out into something else. It's possible he switches once he sees I substitute, but if he doesn't, then it's going to give me a free opportunity to get in Grimmsnarl and get up a nasty plot. Because, again, I should have mentioned earlier, if you don't know how substitute works, if it takes 25% of the user's health, so if it takes 25% of Vaporeon's 237, the substitute goes away. Anything less than that, and the substitute stays up. So if it takes 24.5, the substitute stays there. So if Giga Drain does not get a max roll, then I get to keep my substitute and bring something in for free, and get another turn with the substitute before he has a chance to break it. So that's the plan overall. Going back to his team, he brought what? He brought Assault Vest Copperajah, Scarf Hydreigon, Banded Mamoswine, Specs Jolteon, I want to say it was Leftovers Jellicent, and then Expert Passimian. I'm expecting pretty similar to that. If he brings Arcanine, it's probably going to be Life Orb, and Togetic's going to be Eviolite, obviously. I don't know what Rapidash would be, but I would guess Banded or Scarfed. So yeah, that is what we're looking at for our Week 8 match. I'll have the battle video up right after this one. I think it's going to be close, just like last time. I mean, I could have had a 3-0 last time if Cinderace didn't miss, but I think now that he's got a better feeling for my team, it's more likely that it's going to be a closer match than that. So that's going to be the battle, not battle, the team builder for week 8. Thank you for watching.